A time warp to the era of the Mughal empires and the rule of the Maharaja. The Exploring India edition of the Faizal show takes you on an adventurous journey, immersed in rich culture and history. India is the epitome of wisdom surrounded by history. Explore the bustling streets, the cuisine, and the life and path treaded by sages on this epic journey through India.
Hello there and welcome to the show. An exciting episode coming up. We're going to Jaipur, and you know it's normally that triangle, but I found out it's a square actually. Jaipur, Agra, Delhi and Ajmer. So we're going to talk about that coming up. In this episode, we look at the carpet dyeing facilities, how they do all of that. Indians are generally very industrious, so this guy takes us and shows us some of that. But we really see some sightseeing, some very smart places built back in the time, and I'm always talking about the Mughal Empire and some of the things they've built. But in this particular episode, we arrive in Jaipur. One of the worst things, or the best things of India is the toilets. They use a special spray that gives it a particular smell. And that smell is the smell of India. Been on the road for a couple of hours. I always keep you up to date with the time. It's 5 o'clock here in India, and the trip has been a bit hectic. Hectic for me from the point of view that the temperature is sweltering, and what happens is one remains so wet all the time because no matter how much water you drink, it just continues coming out as you're moving along. But we've seen some interesting things this morning as we left Agra. We've been to the Agra fort. So that component's been interesting. Tiring journey all the way, but we're in a part of Rajasthan, and that's Jaipur. So generally people make this particular triangle. I'm not sure if they call it the golden triangle. I heard something like that this morning from Mansur, but it's Jaipur, Agra, Delhi, and I think Ajmer, yeah, something like that. That's not a triangle, that's 4, I think. But it's something like that. So we're going to settle into this hotel. I heard we got upgraded at the hotel. It looks very nice, it feels very nice. I'm looking forward to a more relaxing evening this evening because being on the road for so many hours, it makes one tired.
Stars, everyone's looking at me.
Yeah, they think you're an actor.
Yeah.
Check that.
Right.
Rajasthan, this is obviously part of Rajasthan. Jaipur, you've been here before.
Yes.
Tell us something about the region.
Everything's red. It's quite monotonous. I don't know why, but everything's red. The bricks are red, the tiles are red. The people are quite friendly, and the food, the cuisine is excellent. I like pungent food, and I quite enjoy this. I'm looking forward to it.
How did you find the trip coming up from Agra this morning?
Agra. I'm very impressed with the technology, given that it was done such a long time ago. But I'll confess one thing. I think the guy was a nut to spend so much of money on simple things. I can't imagine that when there's so much of poverty all over this place. That was one negative, but the technology and the thought, the pump, the water pumping up systems and air conditioning system behind the walls, and the secret access to his wives' rooms impressed me very much. Hopefully I'll take some of these ideas when I get back home. Thank you.
That's a good idea.
My wife is up there.
Indications to South Africa as you left Agra. Now you arrived in Jaipur. What are you expecting to see?
There's a lot of things to see, but as we came, we enjoyed the trip. And now
you said there's a lot of things to see. Tell me about them.
I'm with the group. Now we're going to see because it's my first trip.
But when you said there's a lot of things to see,
There
so
must be a lot of things to see.
You wouldn't have come here.
Why I wouldn't have come here?
I'm trying to push him in the corner. So, listen, we're in Jaipur. It's been a long trip. You lost a couple of kilos sweating it out on the road. What are you expecting to see here?
I believe we're in Jaipur to see a fort. We've seen two already. But I believe this is quite distinctive in its color, I think. Yeah, and I don't know whether it's Mughal architecture or not, but from what I've seen, these guys built impressive structures, and there hasn't been anything since. And it's just a pity that modern architecture doesn't take some, what do they say, a leaf from the books of these artists and architects. It would be good to see how that will be interpreted in modern architecture. Yeah.
Well, it's a very warm night in Jaipur. We arrived here about 2 hours ago, and that was after a long drive from Agra, where we saw the Taj Mahal. And I must admit the trip has been progressing well. We've been covering lots of things all the time, seeing something new all the time, immersing ourselves in history. I'm sort of inspired by the Mughal Empire, what they've done, what they've built, that still stands today after so many years. But here in Jaipur, there's lots to see. What I found so far is we took this drive and we decided to come out to this lake. And behind me you see the Jal Mahal. Now, I must admit I don't have much information on it right now because our tour guide is somewhere else at the moment. But what I do know is that it's a very majestic building. What you can see is that the building is lit up and you see an identical reflection of the building on the water. And I hear from the guys around here that this particular monument is one of the more famous monuments in Jaipur. The rest of Jaipur, as we left the hotel and came out this way, is busy. 32 degrees now, 9 o'clock at night, extremely busy. There's lots of flea markets along the main roads, traffic, hustle and bustle again as usual. But what I find different at this stage is that the amount of people seems to be increasing from where we came from. Lots of people on the road and lots of action. And you can probably hear behind me now, lots of people hooting and all that kind of thing. Tomorrow is an interesting day. We're going to the Amer Fort, and I hear there's lots of history around the Amer Fort, and I'm going to tell you more about that when we go along. We go to Ajmer. Lots of people have been waiting to go to Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, look into his biography and see Ajmer and actually go there and be part of all of that. And we're going to tell you more about that as we go along tomorrow. But we go to the Amer Fort here in Jaipur again tomorrow first before we go there. And the Amer Fort again is a very famous monument here in Jaipur. A couple of things actually fascinate me about India. Generally when you look at posters of India, it always says incredible India. Well, to a degree, I think that is absolutely true. From the point of view that there's this funny situation that I feel happens in India, and that is, apart from the monuments and looking at the history and understanding the empires that were here and understanding when the British came in and what happened with all of that, there's more that goes on here, and that's the daily lifestyle of people. And I find that interesting. There's a sense of chaos and calmness. Now, I don't know how to put that to you because you've got to be here to experience the chaos and the calmness. The calmness is that all these people are busy moving up and down, but nobody appears to be bothered about anyone else. Nobody comes to you to try and injure you or hurt you or anything like that. They might bother you for some money or something like that, beggars, whatever it may be, but nobody injures you. So you're never feeling that you're at risk of anything in terms of your personal safety. So that's the calmness. And then there's a type of chaos that goes on, but there's a method in that madness, in the sense of, if you look at the traffic and the way the traffic's going all the time, what happens is that they're missing each other, they're passing each other, they're doing all kinds of things, but at the same time, there is no tension in all of that. And I'm going to say this very frankly, from where I come from in terms of South Africa, you find tension with all of that. In the road, if someone just hoots at you, it's going to be a big argument. But that doesn't happen here. People are hooting, showing each other hand signs, they politely drive on, people bump into each other, they drive on. So all of that happens, and that's amazing. And then the other thing is, amidst all of that, there's a constant heat. It's constantly hot. And I know that you can't smell, but there are some strange smells too. But with all of that happening, I think that my question is, what price do you attach to having that peace of mind when you go out and just be? Like, if you look behind me and around me and many other places we've been, people just are. And they just are there to be, if I can put it that way. They sit and they just do nothing sometimes, but nobody bothers them. I mean, somehow it might not look like heaven on earth, but for some people I think it is heaven on earth.
It's no chemical color. So these are very fast and for eco-friendly, no etching the body in infections. In printing, we use this wooden block. We call this printing Sanganeri print. This is a special of Jaipur. The green color you have seen is also from the green vegetable like spinach, mint and more green vegetables.
What I generally find when we're moving around India is the fact that it appears that Indians in India are very industrious. So everywhere we go, there's always some type of demonstration going on for them to show us how industrious they are and what they're actually manufacturing and producing, which I suppose affects the GDP somehow or another.
This herbal powder. For washing, reason is the complete printing is the permanent and to change the background. See, if we dip the synthetic color in the water, they come out first wash. But when we dip in the water, the colors never come out, only change the background. Magic. No, it's magic, sir. It's a depend on the powder. Whatever color we want to make the powder. Different types. Yes. Yes. After dry, you can this printing with the cold water, hot water, the color is never come out. So reason for showing inside we have the 4 things special for selling: 100-gram quilts, hand painted bed sheets, hand painted dress material and sarees, gems and jewelry, etc. Here we have nice astrologer facility. If you believe the astrology, you can issue your hand.
tasted absolutely divine. So I'm saying that because I know you guys at home is probably saying, what on earth? Those things look brilliant. They taste delicious. But I need to tell you something, and that is that all that sugar is definitely no good for you guys. But it's nice on a trip. Indian cuisine is something that is on another level. I don't always eat very hard food, but at those hotels, just excellent. Now, the next part of the program, we make our way to Ajmer. As you know, Ajmer is a highlight as we arrive in the precincts of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. Where? With the bike? One of the interesting things that we needed to do was to get the authorization to actually shoot in Ajmer. Lots of people around the world come to Ajmer. So they have a system in place where one needs to apply and fill in an application form before coming to shoot there. Well, that's exactly what we did. That was all orchestrated and facilitated by Sayyid Ali and his family. Now, Sayyid Ali and his family is one of the families that fall in line with the lineage of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, and they facilitate various aspects to visitors from around the world, and especially South Africans tend to visit their home all the time. They treated the group to a great meal, some entertainment in terms of discussions, and then it was time to hit the short road to Ajmer. So I recall Sayyid Ali's dad seemed to be a very respected person. So we're on our way to the Dargah right now. I think this is the anticipated moment for everybody. Obviously looking at us foreigners getting ready to kind of leave to Ajmer, which is really exciting because one needs to take into account that at this point one has traveled halfway around the world. The Dargah and the precincts of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti as being one of the hallmarks of sainthood in the Indo-Pak India region is something to behold. So every traveler is excited more than most places when you start proceeding to the giant himself, the benefactor of the poor, the man that has influenced Islam in this particular region and has left a legacy to behold. So a couple of minutes ago I was brought here by motorcycle through this crowd, and we went to the home of the ancestors, A couple of minutes I was taken through the crowd here by motorbike, and we visited the home of the lineage of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, who hosted us for supper. But now we are now taking our way through a slow walk to the Dargah itself. But through here people are selling things all over, and the whole area is dedicated to Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. So I recall going down, I think it was just before Maghrib time, which is the evening prayers for Muslims, and I remember us proceeding towards this particular open area. And once you sort of on this very white marble place, one then sees this fantastic dome cut out in the skyline. And it's exactly here that we stay at this particular dome, knowing that we've just seen something that throughout your life, as you visit homes, and especially in Indian homes, one would see this particular dome sort of in the Sufi fraternities and Sufi circles. And as we know, Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti is obviously a very key personality in Sufism in India. So when you arrive and you finally see the dome, you sort of realize that you finally made it. Finally arrive in Ajmer. Ajmer is a busy but serene area. We meet up with a family that decides to take us around, and they are an authority there which takes us through the proper channels. I also had to go to a very particular office where they sorted out the permission to film, and we needed special permission. Of all places in India, in Ajmer, we needed that special permission. So I went out and sorted all of that out with our very key people that sort of looked after us during that trip. On this particular journey, you'll note that Ajmer forms a very integral and crucial part of the journey. Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti was a saint that is hallmarked to be the benefactor of the poor, and we therefore cover his story very intensely and very deeply as we bring those visuals to you in the next episode. Join us next week for a brand new episode of Exploring India. Don't forget to visit the website at faizalsay.com. Until next time, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.